Oh my God, I actually think I pressed all the right buttons this morning. It's amazing. Something else has got to go wrong, honestly, surely. Mark Goodern, good morning. Stewie Fanui, how you doing? And today we've got Todd. G'day, say hello, Todd.
Morning, Todd.
Good morning, Todd. And Psycho. Good morning, Psycho.
Good morning.
And we also have a newcomer to the channel, Mr. Angry Buddha. I call him the Happy Buddha because he's always so happy. Happy Buddha? Hello. There you go. And Oggie's around somewhere. I think he went off to make some coffee or something. So, Saturday morning live. Bill, g'day Bill, and Robert, g'day, how you doing? Just getting my coffee this morning. So, how is everybody? Who hasn't had their jab yet? That's a good question. We'll start out with that question because I'm still waiting for my appointment.
I've had mine for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've got my two.
You've got your two?
Yeah.
With my, well, let me just get back to the other stream. There we go. So we had, Chanya went took mother into Bangkok yesterday. Because Thais can go in without an appointment if they're over 60. So we took mother in, or she took mother in to Bang Sue yesterday. There she is, sort of a bit apprehensive and being jabbed in the arm. And they come up to Chanya and said, well, you're here, we might as well jab you too. So Chanya got jabbed as well, so there you go. Maybe I should have...
I was wondering about that. Like, that had happened in the US too, where if they had extra in the vial, they would just get whoever was close.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like, I should have probably gone in with them as well, and maybe I would have got done outside my appointment. Like there was 2.5 days ago, I put my name on the appointment list. I did read something this morning that where is it? The government has signed 20 million doses or something I read this morning. Yeah, this longer gap. Trying to where it wasn't too far back this morning, I'm sure. But it basically said that there were so many people being registered. Maybe it was on here. Extension of the nationwide decree. Yeah, Sandbox. Consular Affairs. Yeah, this was on here. The Consular Affairs Department of Ministry says registered 2,661 foreign residents aged 60 to date. They will send SMS giving the vaccine date soon. So there you go. So I'm still waiting to be told that I can have the vaccine, whereas Chanya went in yesterday and just got jabbed in the arm. So I'm in a household with two people who have been in a hot zone. Wonder if I get the COVID before the vaccine. But
I
anyway.
heard in Cambodia, as of the 20th of this month, expats were able to start getting the vaccine.
In Cambodia?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they're doing the right thing. It's just like the whole response system is a little bit on the slow side. You know what I mean? But anyway, so she's been.
Yeah, I would concur with that.
Yeah. We have a tree cat.
That's puppy cat.
My puppy cat. She loves her TikTok. Yes, if you didn't know, like Chanya does have a TikTok, if you're a TikToker. It's at Alice Beauty, Alice_Beauty. Yeah, so it's at Alice_Beauty. If you're a TikToker, you can find her on there, and you can follow her channel. She puts something out probably once a week or twice a week. Yeah, that's her channel. That's her thing. What else we got? I had somebody telling me that in fact this was their rig that they got for their vlogging, and I'm going, Jesus, you'd need to be a weightlifter, wouldn't you? Carrying that sort of lugging that thing around. This is my rig. I think I've shown it before. It's just very lightweight, does all the things. But yeah, to each
It
their.
almost fit in a pocket.
Well, you can take
Maybe like a cargo short pocket.
well, I can take it off that rig. This is the camera itself is just a sports camera. You can just undo it from there. But like I've got that's the microphone on the back there. Well, that's the receiver for the Bluetooth, and the other part goes around your neck wherever that is. I think it's in my bag. So that was the biggest problem with the Sony, is the fact that it's got a condenser mic at the front of the camera. So to get that framed shot, you have to move it a fair way away, which then picks up too much extra background noise. But it's a nice lightweight rig. What else have we got? Yeah, I don't know, you probably saw that video. She's got this super duper gun, this atomizer gun. She's got, I don't know. I wonder whether she's paranoid about the COVID. I think some people just get a bit paranoid with this stuff. But yeah, she's been having fun shooting people with it. That's right. Our shopping. Yeah. Oh my God. What was that one? Oh, this is outside in our clong. There we go. We do have a monitor lizard in our river, in our creek. She caught that one. That one needs to be TikToked. I need to put some shark, what they call some Jaws music on that one, don't I? Put it out on put it out. What else we got? Just the photos from last week. Of course, you saw her mowing the lawn. Of course, yes. Yeah, well, there you go. Got to love how fast the Google Photos can actually render a video. Come on. Yeah, okay. It's waiting too long. Yeah, so that was a fun. We haven't been anywhere. We've been absolutely nowhere, apart from the trip in to do the shopping, and her trip in on Friday to do the AstraZeneca. And again, we're in lockdown. Darlow's here. G'day, Darlow. And was it Andy Stubbs, Bobby Crush? Good to have you along. So we were asking the question. So what's everybody doing? What's how are they dealing with the whole lockdown?
From Australia's point
is
of view, is it rhetorical or is that?
Yeah, I was like, is that where we talk?
Oh, well, Australia's
No lockdown here.
Lockdown. Yeah.
No lockdown. Oggy tells me he's got no lockdown where he is. Things in America.
New South Wales. I'll let my American brethren talk first.
Yeah, one at a time.
Here in Alabama, it's open. I mean, it's like before the whole thing started, so.
Yeah, but don't forget, you guys have been receiving vaccines since I think October last year, haven't you? So.
Oh yeah,
more
but
like
my
November.
October, yeah.
My state only 30% have been vaccinated, so.
Really, only 30%. Well, it's still better than what we got here in
Yeah.
Thailand.
The worst in the country. So.
Robert Groves says, not really here, Darlow. Restaurants are open and we're free to roam around. Yeah, so we got no restaurants open here. We are considered to be the red zone. I was going to sort of go on.
Yeah, here in Hua Hin, it's basically nightlife stuff is closed, but restaurants are open. So I mean, a lot of the places. There's one restaurant that I went to last night that's kind of across the road from where I am, and that place is normally open until 2 a.m. But they were telling me that they don't stay open till 2 anymore because, well, they're not getting business after maybe 11.
Right, yeah. Where did you? I was going to say. I was going to show the people your condo. Which folder did you put your condo photos in?
Oh, I guess 1 second. I'll have to find it again. It might have just been in general chat.
Was it
Let me
general
see
chat?
here.
Oh yeah, it was general chat.
Yeah, it's in general chat. Yeah.
So you don't mind me putting them up there? You got any problem
No,
with that?
go ahead. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Let me just sort of cue things up. Yeah, so Psycho moved into his new apartment. Let me do them one at a time. Show you that one there. So this is a view from. Let me get out of the screen. This is a view from his bedroom. Well, from his condo window. I wouldn't call it. I suppose it's one of those bedroom. It's got an ensuite, and it's just
Yeah, it's. I think they do call it a 1-bedroom because it's got the glass divider on the other side. But it's not. It's kind of the mid unit in this place. It's not the big unit, the big like 2-bedroom unit, and it's not the small. You basically have a hallway as a unit. So.
And
it's pretty decent.
he's been telling me he's been swimming laps. So he's got a little island here that he swims laps around. So he's not going backwards and forwards. He's actually lapping the pool.
Yeah, I was doing that like 20 minutes ago, actually.
Yeah, there's a nice looking pool. There's no doubt about that.
Oh,
So
yeah, I can't complain there.
what else we got? Yeah, this is the inside bedroom with his. What's that? Yeah, your warthog, is it? No, that's a camera. It's a camera rig, is it?
Yeah, so the thing in the bottom left is actually, it's for my microphone. I forget what they call it, but it's a cheap Behringer unit, but it works. It makes the mic sound pretty decent.
I was talking about this thing above it. The
that's just a mount for some. It's a suction cup mount.
Okay.
I initially got it from my VR setup because I've got a valve index.
Okay.
So I have to mount the lighthouses to things, and that's still at Tim's house, so I haven't got that set up yet.
Alright, what else we got there? We got another view there. It's good to sort of see the fact that the bed's made. But you probably took those photos the first night you were there, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the bed's not made anymore. And then somehow I've tracked sand into the place, and I gotta get that figured out. I've gotten most of the sand out, but there's still little grains of sand everywhere because I'm 2-minute walk to the beach. So that's a positive and a negative.
And I guess the ensuite's off the bedroom, is it?
Yeah. So that's off the bedroom.
So there's the ensuite there. Just looking at this, the overall shape here. That's clean. You're actually in the shower there, are you?
Yeah. I took the picture from the shower.
And that's of course the shower. That's something we need to do here when we've got to put the glass up on our showers as well. Oh look, he's even got hot water.
Oh, luxury.
I've used it 1 time since I've been in here.
You don't need hot
Otherwise, I've
water.
gotten actually used to the cold showers.
You don't need hot showers. Hot showers are for parang. If you're going to live in Thailand, you've got to do it Thai style. Stuff this, hot shower bullshit. But yeah, so there's his house, there's his condo. He's all settled in. For 2 months? What's the plans after the first 2 months? Have you found any way to do?
See what happens. See if stuff's locked down or not. Play the game of avoid the lockdown as much as possible. And yeah, kind of go from there. So my original plan was to travel around Thailand for the first 6 months that I'm here. But that kind of got quashed by all of this stuff. So now it's I'm realizing more with every day that I want to learn Thai and be as fluent as possible in Thai. So I actually am probably going to get an education visa with a Thai school. It depends on which school I go to. There's one in Hua Hin, and I got to sit in a class there, and I was pretty impressed with the instructor. The thing is I actually really want to learn how to read and write Thai before I learned how to speak Thai. And their program, it's like 2 different classes that you have to take for that. So I've got to figure out that a little bit more.
Fair enough. Well, that's like I never really sort of put much effort into the Thai. When I first met Chanya, I got all the downloadable material that I could grab my hands on, and put it on my, I think back then my sort of MP3 player, because you really couldn't put on your phones back in 2009. Those phones back then. Really the music went separate in a little MP3 player, and so I put my languages on an MP3 player and headphones on the train going to work and back. But again, I'm listening and listening and listening to it, and listening to intellectualizing the whole process. Whereas even speaking Thai, you need to speak it, and you need to be constantly sort of doing that, parrot fashion, making the words. How does it sound to you? How does it sound to everybody else? And if you start doing too much of that vocalization without really being critiqued, you can pick up a lot of bad habits. And so, what I was finding out is
saying the wrong word too.
And you're saying the wrong word, and so the whole idea sort of basically fell into a complete. I'm wasting my time here, and that was the first couple of years, doing the Thai lessons when I'm in Australia learning it, then coming to Thailand and practicing it. It just really wasn't working for me, and then pretty much after that I gave up, and Chanya started getting better at her English, so the need for me to learn Thai sort of disappeared. I've started now. I've just been watching. He's not on here yet, but he pops in every so often on the Thai live stream. Hey Kid, his dad. He's got a channel out there. He's got 90 subscribers, but he actually lives up in Salia, which is just above us. About 5 kilometres away from us here. And I've been flicking through his material this week, getting familiar with what he's got. He's from the US as well. He's moved to Thailand. He's making videos like in a style that he's teaching his kid that isn't born yet, which I thought was quite a novel sort of approach to making a video channel. I'll have to. If he comes on, I'll link it. I won't sort of link it until he comes on, but I'm sure he'll come on at some stage. So I've dropped him an email. Said, we need to sort of, when the lockdown's finished, let's go and get together and have coffee and ride bikes together, because he's got a Suzuki V-Strom 650. So he's got the the adventure bike sort of style bike, whereas I got a cruiser. But he bought it from I believe he bought it from the big bike shop put him on Saiha, which is again only 3 kilometres down the road from where we live. I've been meaning to go down there and talk to them and inquire about getting the CB 650. I think the injectors need cleaning or probably replacing, because it's got a flat spot above 5,000 RPM and in third gear and above. So I need to get that sorted out. But the whole thing is, this is when I'm listening to him. He's been here for, I'm not quite sure how long he's been in Thailand for, but I've listened to his Thai talking to different shop owners in those videos, and I thought, he's got a pretty good handle on the language, He's showing me up, that's for certain. So, cut a long story short, I need to learn Thai, that sort of thing. I got to have a technical discussion with the guys down the road here without taking Chanya down the road, because that whole translation process, it loses the impact, if you know what I mean. So it's starting to remind me that the fact that I need to get my finger out and start learning Thai again. I noticed Malcolm K was saying that Melbourne's more fun than Sydney. How could that be? How could that be, Malcolm? Melbourne can't be more fun than Sydney.
Honey, what you doing?
What am I doing? And my darling's here. You want to come and say hello to everybody?
Talk with everybody,
Yeah. Wait, let me just get the camera.
No. I just have to tell you something.
What? Just hey, hold on.
But my father tell me have near under Wat Wong, she have vaccine for some people near Wat Wong. But Wat Wong, she have some him have to make vaccine in the near Wat Wong, and some people have ทะเบียนบ้านเมีย can make.
Yeah,
his
but
own.
I've already made my appointment with the government.
ไม่ you him tell me you have ทะเบียนบ้าน you can.
Yeah, well, okay, well, that's the thing. So what are they doing, AstraZeneca?
Yes, that's
Okay, what time?
Now him start now only one day, but I don't. It's okay. You can talk.
Yeah, see, I've gone through this one here. See, where is it again? Richard Barrow. See, this one here. I've already made appointment on this one.
อ๋องั้น you wait for appointment ดีกว่า
Yeah, and they send me SMS, so I don't want to confuse anybody.
Okay.
Right, but this one will be in Bangsu probably. So
Oh.
get father to do that one. It's okay.
Huh?
Get father and Ben. They can do that.
Father him not don't need.
Why he not need?
I don't know.
He does.
But-
He not what?
Only sick. อ๋อจ้ะ It's okay. Not go เนาะ
Okay, no, it's okay. Yeah, so yeah, it looks like what Wong is they're going to have a vaccine. They're probably starting to do what I've been saying for the last 4 weeks. They're starting to roll this stuff out by what do you call it? By Muban. You know, go into a Muban, do a vaccination of everybody there, and then move on to the next Muban. But yeah, who knows? Anyway, what I was doing, I was catching up and all that sort of stuff. So those sort of condos lend themselves to download. I can imagine Cody getting a telescope. Yes. You haven't got one on. You haven't gone to Lazada yet? Well, let's go. We're going to look at Lazada and see if we can find a telescope for you. Lazada. Telescope. TLE. Telescope. Well, the search comes up. Oh yeah, one that you can hook up to your phone and take photos. But there we go. What's it? 1,190 baht. I think that'll get some good bedroom shots, wouldn't it? What do you reckon? Not expensive. But I think what you need to do, if you want to do the right sort of bedroom shots, you've got to do that so you can plug it into the back of your phone, don't you? Right. Then you can stream it on TikTok. Oh my God. There's another one there. 2,299 baht. You can't go wrong, surely.
Yeah, Robert, I'm loving the new condo. It's awesome. You know, it's not as big as your place, but I enjoy the place here. Like, it's, you know, fun chatting with the guards, and they get ridiculous. Like, I'm riding my motorbike out, and this is on a street that's like with barely any traffic, and the guards like get up off of the table, and it's like no, like you don't have to get up, like relax. But they get up, then run out into the middle of the road and tell me that it's okay, and it's like it's always okay on this road. Like, this isn't a main road, so it gets kind of ridiculous. But I really enjoy the pool. It's amazing how much better you can take the heat if you just get into the pool in the first thing in the morning, and then it's really hard to explain. I've never really dealt with this before living in Alaska, but it's like it gives you like a heat buffer for like 2 hours after you get out of the pool. I don't really understand it.
Yeah, well, that's the way pools tend to work, yeah. Warren, many XO Williams are saying many areas where he lives. Whereabouts are you anyway, William? I can never remember where you are. Are going to be giving one type of vaccine first and a different one for the second vaccine. Yeah, sort of. You know, I'm just waiting for the SMS to come through. Nothing's been said so far. Nothing's coming through on my phone. Yeah. I'm not holding my breath out, but I'm pretty sure they'll get something organised in the next week. Too slow. Hi, Warren. I'm glad the fake news hasn't hit you yet. What's the fake news we're talking about? Why do you think that is? I need to know what you mean by fake news. so much fake news out there. Oh my God. Silver Lake, okay, 30 minutes from, okay, right, so you're down Pattaya area, okay. We'll have to sort of organise a time to come and hook up and, I'll do a bike ride down there. As I said, we've got Hey Kids as Dad, so I don't know what he's using. I think his Thai nickname on his email, which was Saifar, was what he called himself on his email, which definitely sounds like a Thai nickname for blue or something like that, blue or electricity, or depends on how you, because the transliteration into Romanised Thai, unless of course you got the accents, you can't really tell what they're sort of saying in English. But yeah, so let's call him Saifar for now. So he's got his bike, and then Todd will be here in a couple of months. When are you coming now, Todd? What's the timing?
Where's dark red zones? When can you fly domestically in Thailand? It changes every day, was it?
Yeah.
I'm booked in to get there 16th of October at this stage.
16th of October, so you've got to get you a bike and a license. So November, cool season. So when we should be able, we're going to have a little motorcycle club out, because he wants to move out this way into Nakhon Pathom, or the border zone there. Yep. Between. If you do it over the border and you're making it Nakhon Pathom, the immigration office is just down the road from us, so that'll make it easy. But yeah, so we'll have a 3-person biking crew. I'm guessing that Saifar probably works, because he doesn't look 50 yet. So I'm guessing that maybe he has a Farang, work permit, something. So we might not get to do every day of the week riding, but we're 3 of us, getting a riding crew, and we go and trip down to Pattaya and catch up with William, and maybe sort of find a few of my other riding crew who are free to ride as well on the weekdays. I know.
I don't have a bike yet, but maybe at some point I will, and I'll go join you guys. I'm trying to figure out what I'd want to get.
You got to get a license first.
Yeah, unfortunately, right now they. I looked into that, and everything's closed, so you can't.
Yeah, that's the thing that's got me right now. So we've got this problem with Thais not having licenses at the best of time, but now we've got situations like renewal of your license. No, you can't even renew your license anymore, right? All the Department of Land Transports are closed. So there's a lot of cars on the road that are unregistered, which basically voids their insurance, and there's a lot of people driving now on the roads because they can't renew their licenses. Right, I'm pretty sure the insurance companies are going to have an issue if they crash somewhere, aren't they? Because insurance companies, as you know, they don't want to pay. They don't want to pay out anywhere, right? So they'll use every little loophole to get out of paying somebody. I'm sorry, you're unlicensed. Sorry, we don't have to pay. You have to pay yourself. That's really, I can see that blowing up quite badly somewhere along the line. Let's put it that way. Thankfully, I got a 5-year license. I still got 2 years on mine, so 2 years and a bit on mine. So don't have to worry about renewing mine for another couple of years. Hopefully, we'll be out of lockdown by then. Let's hope we're out of lockdown by Christmas. I had no soreness. Wonder if they gave it to me. I never felt the needle. What, you had the vaccine, did you, Andy? I didn't catch that before. Is that what you were saying? I like living in the burbs. I don't know why anybody would. Of course, I got a lot of friends, in Bangkok who live in the condos in Bangkok, but that sort of style of living sort of never really floated my boat.
I think it also depends on your age, marital status, stuff like that.
Well, I think I mentioned it on another live stream. If I go here, no, not there. I'm going to go into Maps. Where's Google Maps? and then go to Hornsby. So, Hornsby, New South Wales. Zoom in here. Right, where was it? I think it was. That's the Blue Gum Hotel. Albert Street. Right, yeah. I think it was 93, 87, 81. Yeah, so I know I spent 12 months of my life living in this apartment. I'm going to get out of the screen. This apartment block here, I think 3rd floor. I think I said I was 6 months on the 2nd floor with somebody, and then I moved up in here to the 3rd floor with somebody else. You know how you do flatting between different people. So I had 12 months in this particular apartment building. Well, this is what we call flats in Australia. You know, they're 2-bedroom with kitchen and all that sort of stuff. They're not like the Thai apartments, which is a single 32 square metre. These are a decent sort of size. They're about maybe sort of 80 square metre apartment buildings. So they're you know, you can swing a cat in them. But yeah, 12 months living like that, I pretty much vowed never to live in an apartment building there. Like, cause, you know, you're on the 2nd floor and the guys up there starts jamming at night at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then you're in this building here, and then somebody downstairs screaming at their kids, and oh my God, couldn't that was it.
Well,
Totally.
I think there's a complete difference between living in some place like that and where I am right now. Like, I don't really hear anyone. And it might be because, you know, I'm looking around and it looks like most of the units, they might be purchased, but they're empty. I only see like 1 or 2 people in the pool at a time. And most of the time there's nobody in the pool. So, like, it's a completely different situation than when I was renting in apartments in the West.
But again, I think I've mentioned this before. Like we lived for 5 years in Nong Kem there, in a townhouse. So we have, you know, shared walls either side of us. There was just nobody up and above and below, but the shared walls. Never had a problem with the neighbours making a noise. To me, it's something that I think is very Thai. People respect that quietness. You know, you're in a shared living space, and again, even in apartments, you're in a shared living space. Aussies, on the other hand, Todd can attest to this, Aussies just do their own shit and they don't give a fuck about anybody else, you know. And if you're in an apartment, that's it, you know. Fuck you, Jack, you know. I'm going to play my drums at 1 o'clock in the morning, you know. Call the police if you don't like it. That's the sort of way, that's the attitude that you get in Australia, you know. Very narcissist, you know, especially people living in flats, because they tend to be sort of the lower wage brackets, so they're the blue collar, you know, drink every night sort of types of, you know, can't sort of say that everybody's like that, but you know, the typical blue collar worker who you know, they've had a hard life and they want to come home and they want to have a hard life at home too, with beat their wife up and yell at their kids, you know. No thought about, oh, my noise is affecting somebody else. And this is my apartment, I can do what I want, you know. We don't get that sort of attitude here in Thailand, which is refreshing. That's probably the best way to put it. But yeah. Anyway, a lot of going on. So daylight restrictions here, obviously, get to wear masks. So I look, get used to masks, guys. I think basically masks, we're in for masks for the next 2 to 3 years, no matter what anybody else is saying. Just get used to wearing them. So Robert says went to the DLT on Thursday, re-registered, but you're not red zone though, are you? You're the orange zone or the next level down, so you get a little bit easier access to things. And he put on the boat house 10 minutes of replace. Okay.
I need to clarify because what Robert said. So you can't get a new license here. They are not doing those tests.
Oh,
so
okay.
You might be able to re-register, but you cannot get a new license. I went down there with Andy Oswald, and yeah, and no luck with that.
fair enough. Like, so I read somewhere, maybe I read it wrong or it was a bad translation. The DLT that I go to, which is for the Bangkok province, nearest to, because there's 4 DLTs on the west side, and you've got to go to a specific one for your vehicle. Like if my vehicle's the one near I'm trying to think of the place location. If my blue book goes to that one, I can't go to the one south of PopeKael Road to re-register it or renew it. I've actually got to go to that one. It's bizarre. Each office is specific, and that particular office has said that they've closed their doors to do all that sort of stuff. I don't know. That was, but that's what it was a few weeks ago. That might have just been a bad translation. But again, we're all also a different zone as well. So Warren, do they have driver's ed classes for Frangs so they can get a license? Well, that's Teddy. I'm not quite sure. Now, the only thing I can go off is when Chanya got her bike license, because we bought her the bike, and she didn't have a license, typical Thai, but I insisted that she get one. So then she went to the DLT. This was a couple of years ago. After she got the bike, she sat down for her written test, and you got to get 42 questions right out of 45, or 48 questions out of 50, or something like that. You can only get 3 questions. Oh, there's something like some bizarre number, and she failed a few of the questions. So she went in the next day to redo the test. She failed a second time, but this wasn't with. She didn't actually do any writing tests. But then, of course, they suggested she go to a school. But the school was specifically for Thai, so everything is in Thai. They're teaching you the writing skills in Thai, and supposedly they write a certificate, and then she goes back and hands that certificate into the DLT, which gives her the license. The writing, but that was a couple of years ago. As for Farang, I really couldn't tell you. I know we've got some like Honda do advanced riding courses. Paul keeps on telling me about those. Suggests they're good for skill level learning. But it has nothing to do with the DLT. It's just advanced riding courses. You might find something more appropriate down in Pattaya, which is where a lot of foreigners live. But here in Thailand, here in Bangkok region, and specifically out where I am now, got no clue how that works. And the latest thing is when it comes to renew my license, because I've had my bike for 3 years now, or I think it's 3 years. Yeah, I've had my bike for 3 years. It's been registered in my name for 3 years. I get an automatic upgrade to the over 400cc license because I've been riding for 3 years on that bike, so they consider that appropriate, which is a bizarre situation again. I've been riding big bikes most of my life, but and then they got a bit too much peer pressure from everybody that this whole new dual licensing system was going to be a bit too hard to administer. Hello, William. It'd be great to have a pool. Something I have to do. Yeah, well, look, yeah. Shanya's also told me she'd like a pool in ours. I said, where are you going to put a pool? We just put grass down. Really? She's got no concept of size. My son lives in Perth. I was going to visit this year, but can't be okay. That Wazza, Richie Kingston, that Wazza. I have to say the new house is looking good, and the electric mower video was new. So many people sort of mowing grass in bare feet. Really, you don't know Australians. That's it. Everything in Australia is trying to kill you, so we don't care about losing our feet. We're just a bit more careful of that.
You need bare feet so you can feel where you missed it with the lawnmower, so you can go back again. There is meaning behind both.
Feet. Exactly, there is meaning. Yeah, just basically we're just Aussies. We don't give a damn, So travelling man, so you sort of said you took the driving test for your car. So how did you find the driving test? And did you reply to that one yet? We'll wait for that reply.
You said the question part was the hardest.
Did he?
Yeah.
Where? Oh, there it is. Oh, yes, it's just popped up on my stream now. the delay, the Streamlabs live chat is actually delayed from. That's why I've got both on screen, because one continues to scroll and I keep on losing track of where I am. So I've got a timestamp on the other one. But yeah, anyway, that's just another technical thing. So the question part was the hardest. Doesn't make much sense, and you have to get so many answers right. Yeah, it's the rest is a daughter. I believe in Patia they've actually got a computer program test or something like that, which I've actually got on my computer somewhere, and hasn't been updated for 10 years, and it's a really dodgy looking video, or whatever it is. Is it a video or is it a PDF? I can't remember. Which actually gives you all the questions they ask, and it's always the same questions, so you can pretty much memorise it. But I haven't sort of seen anybody do the driving test. Yeah, you might be able to clarify that. So the written test, the question part, was it in English on a computer terminal, or was it verbally given to an instructor? Failed the test first day, passed the second day. Yeah.
I do have a link to a practice website, Wazza, which I'll put in here.
Yeah, if you got it there, yeah, just drop it in. Put in the whatever word, useful links.
It's in the chat. Yeah, it's in the chat now, and I'll put it in the useful links in Discord. But it's got 90 questions, and the questions sort of are the ones that are asked on the test. And according to this website that I've used, there are 50 questions you've got to go through, and you're only allowed to get 5 wrong. So.
Oh,
they're similar questions that are asked during the written test.
Oh yeah, this is the thing. This is the thing that I think I got this and captured it. You may not park a car.
So that would be 15 metres of a railway crossing.
Yeah, I think this is
Things
what I
like
did.
that.
I downloaded the PDF. I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyone thinking it's the same test for car and bike. So.
Yeah, I remember this now.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
This is the quality of the questions, and you get pictures like this. Which of the pictures below illustrates proper parking? And now let's and I don't know how anybody could even sort of determine what's going on there. So let's against the red. You can't park there. There's a railway crossing. You can't illustrates proper
park
parking.
on a corner because it's an intersection.
Yeah. So
you can park there.
Yeah, see the picture on the right. So that's it. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's the quality of the pictures you're going to do. I think these are the right answers. You may not park a car within 15 minutes or okay. When descending a steep grade, what should you do? Go faster! In Australia you do anyway. Use a low gear, which is really, like, you might be in your truck, but like you're driving a manual. How many people actually use a low gear in a manual car, in an automatic, to go down a hill? No, they just sit on their brakes. So, this sign means all traffic move to the right. Yeah, so anyway, you got the link there. You can download the questions if you're asking the question. Yeah, this is the thing. I've downloaded all 3 of these. I do remember it now. But that was published, I think. I came across this years ago. Doesn't actually give me a date on there, so it's not even secure. But it's at least 8 to 10. Well, it was made 2016, so it's 5 years old. Updated
in 2018. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, the site does look a little bit different than what it used to look anyway. So maybe he has it, but he's still using still got the same PDFs attached, which he did in 2016. So there you go. Anyway, moving right along. And of course, where are we? 3Jazz. G'day 3Jazz. In Patio it's hours and hours of videos for Farang, and then a test. You can get 5 wrong and then you get a license. Don't forget your colourblind test. You gotta get in front of that thing. Gotta pick. They pointed a yellow dot and a green dot and a red dot on this little dotted, mosaic of, red, green, and yellow dots. And if you get that wrong as well, that's an issue. And if you're colourblind, for what they call, if you're mid-dutone, mid-dutone, I think the right word is, like I am, those dots at that distance at 10 feet away, red and greens can really sort of, blend into a sort of a bit of a washed out grey colour, especially the 2 colours they use. I have no problem seeing traffic light colours, but, like red and green, unilluminated, dots side by side at 10 feet away in amongst a sea of other dots. Yeah, it's not that easy, doesn't stand out very well. So yeah, if you're colourblind, red-green colourblind specifically, you're going to have a bit of trouble. I know I failed my test the first time. Failed because of my colourblind the first time, but anyway.
So how long until you can go back and take another test?
I went in the next day and did it again. I was more panicked. I was more panicked because I saw that, and it's again psychological. It's one of those sort of psychological conditions I've never really grown out of. Like when I was 6 or 7 years old, I know they came round and the medical officers came round, and you had to do this, test. And from that point in time, I was determined that I was colourblind, red-green, because I failed that little dot chart test thing. And because of that, I was excluded from different things, and I was always branded as being colourblind, and my whole life has been conditioned to colourblindness, as the fact that, well, that guy's blind, don't worry about him, he's not going to help him. I can see colours, I just have trouble at that, that washed out light, high luminance, red-green. And I can look at different colours. Look at a colour chart. I wouldn't know what colour I'm looking at. I can see colour, but what colour is that? Well, that's blue. I can determine colours in what they call the Windows 3.11 16 colour palette. That's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet sort of stuff. Mauve. What's puce? Women have get the idea. I was never taught colours because I was colourblind, and that early education is really critical when you start to learn. If you get singled out for being colourblind, then you're going to never learn. I try to teach myself, I can see that's a yellow, I can see that that's a brown, I can see that that's a, that one there, I can't really tell the colour. What colour is that? Looks like a pink. Would you call that a pink? There's a red, I can see colours, there's a red and white. What am I pointing at? This guy here, you don't wear shirts like that in Thailand, only on Songkran. But yeah, you get the idea. Sort of, I've never learnt colours, whereas people have been taught colours from a very early age, whereas I was never taught colours. I'm an engineer, I don't need colours. But it was really singled out. My father was in electronics, and there's colour bands on resistors. Now, I could see most of those colours, but when it come to, the colour bands on a resistor, on a brown background, they can be quite confusing, without sort of a comparison chart, and those colours can vary as well. So it was determined at an early age that I'll never follow my father in electronics. Again, conditioning. This is what you put in this basket, right? He's colourblind, so just avoid anything to do with colour, And whereas the right approach would have been, let's see if we can create a sort of a study program or an assistance program to help him deal with it. Like it's just not like a normal kid. It would be a special education class sort of thing. That's what they call it now. But back in the 60s, that shit didn't happen. So And so I see colour quite all right, but in the 70s when we had our colour TV before it was released in Australia, like we had what they call chroma lock on the TV because we had experimental colour TV. And, I'd be quite happy to sitting in front of, the TV there where the faces are sort of, are green instead of, the normal sort of skin colour. Why? Because, I'm just watching the TV. It didn't really bother me and, I'm not conditioned to say, well, that's a green coloured face, It wasn't bright green. It was just like, as skin colour is a sort of, it has a lot of pink tones in it or a lot of red tones. Whereas, if that chroma key or chroma lock was out, then it would be green. And my sister would come in and said, Warren, hit the chroma key, you got it in green again. Oh yeah, okay. Didn't worry me, I'm still watching the TV. I'm not watching it for the colour, I'm just watching TV, It still tell the same story. But yeah, if you get what I mean, it's just one of those sort of things. I think that I could probably educate myself, just like I could probably educate myself the Thai language if I sat down and studied it, but it's never really been a thing. It's never really been a necessity. It hasn't stopped me from enjoying my life. That's the best way I can put it. How much is it impacting you? If you're blind, it's a different matter. Your life is fairly well heavily impacted. But when it comes to red-green, those washed out red-greens, in a sea of colour. If you ask me to pick a red there, well, apart from that pink, I can see that's red. But is that a red there? This one here on this guy here, I don't know if you can see where the mouse is. Is that a red or a green or I really couldn't tell, but a normal person probably says that stands out like dog's balls. I wouldn't have a clue what colour that is. What would you call that colour?
Green.
That's green, is it?
Green.
Yeah,
The shirt or the backpack?
No, whatever where the mouse pointer is. Yeah,
You're like
unfortunately.
hovering between yellow and green. If the mouse pointer is on his shirt, then it's green. If it's on the backpack, it's yellow.
So it's green. Yeah, I can see
If it's
that.
on the straps, if
I
it's
thought
like
red.
you're...
it was a pink. I
Yeah.
thought it was a pink.
Yeah, I thought the straps were pink also.
Okay, so
Yeah,
if you're
Not
hovering
like
on the
kitty.
straps, it's not high enough
Not like
resolution
kitty,
to
yeah.
tell.
that's the point. So I can see definitely that is a red shirt in front of him. But what's this one here? Right, to
Oh
me...
wait, when I made it full screen, it's a pink backpack. When I was in smaller screen, it looked yellow.
Yeah.
So now it's a pink backpack in full
Yes.
screen.
Yeah, so I just can't really
Hello,
tell what
kitty.
colour that is. So that's it. I just can't tell the colour, right? I can see that's red because that's a bold red, but I can't tell what the colour. That's just, to me, it's a washed out grey. Whereas to somebody who's not colour blind, they would instantly tell that colour. And I'm only talking, we've probably got 30 pixels to tell that colour from. Again, getting back to the colour chart is effectively what you're looking at 10 feet away. You're trying to pick these little red and green dots on a chart that far away, And, it can be challenging for somebody who's red-green colourblind. Colour or colour deficient. I do even have these special little glasses, but they don't really help. These are a special. Well, these are a thing called Enchroma. They're $400 US. These are supposed to. This is something that was discovered a few years back. But if I then put that on, it lifts. Unfortunately, I can't see because it makes everything blurred. What that does, it's like cuts out a little bit of the blue filter, so it tones the blue filtering down so that the other colours can be a little bit more, stand out a bit more. And now when I put that on, I can see a definite colour difference. It's no longer grey, but I would just say that was a pinky colour, not so much a green, but somebody said it was green. But I really can't zoom in any closer than that. But then again, so I can't use these sunglasses inside. These work great outside. In bright light, those in chroma glasses are absolutely wonderful. It just really lifts colour to a whole different level. Do you want to know the story about how that was invented? Probably not. There's a whole Enchroma. You'd have to see the website where it's sort of Enchroma.
Sure.
in chroma. Yeah, and this has actually got the test. Like, well, I might as well do a little colour. But let's talk about colour blindness. They have a colour blindness test. Right, and
50 Shades of Grey being a documentary on being colorblind.
Yeah,
Right.
good one, Darlo.
so here we are. So this is the way the test goes. Now, that was a 7, by the way. That's a 6. That's an 8. Don't tell me. I'm trying to. I see no colour.
That's 3.
Yeah. 5. That one there's a 1. I see the 3. That's a 9. 7. 3. It's a 5. I see nothing there.
It's a 7.
Yes, I mean. So you're getting the idea. So this is the test that they do. This is what determines your level of colour blindness. That one looks like a 4. No.
Huh.
Can't see that one.
Also, I think it depends on, like, you know, what range of colors your monitor can display.
Well, yes, I mean. I don't know how many we've got to go. We're almost there. Oh, please provide a response. Unsure. No idea what that is. A 9. Looks like a 3. And I see nothing there. No, really. They've got a timing thing on this as well, which that's something new. It looks like an 8. And I'm probably too close to it as well. 4. Right, and that tells me view results. Yeah, I've already done this. Come on, give me a break. It'll just tell me mid-due turn. Mid-due turn, yeah, that's right. Pronounced Dutan, okay, it's pronounced Dutan. You have moderate Dutan colour blindness, also known as Dutan anomaly, a type of red-green colour blindness in which the green cones in the eye detect too much red light and not enough green light about your type of blindness. Good news, we've engineered special eyewear, and so yeah, I bought them. Which ones did I buy? I bought the ones that look pretty cool. But yeah, they're not cheap. But the way they was designed, it was that they worked out the fact that sort of, some people giving injections, it was actually through the medical fraternity, supposedly when you read this website, some people could naturally find veins in people's arms when they were under certain types of lighting conditions, and they worked out the fact that that the way that the skin pigments filter light, some people could see the veins better, and they experimented with this with different filtering techniques, and they worked out that there was a way we could wear these sort of particular glasses, which then basically lifted colour to a level that made us more sensitive to the colour problems that we had. But if you've got the money if you are colourblind, of course they've got different ones for red, green, for the blues and yellows as well. So, but yeah, definitely sort of check out enchroma.com if you want. But unfortunately, the trouble with that is you can't really wear these things inside the testing centre. You can't wear sunglasses, for instance, when you're doing a driving test, And that's what they'd just call them, sunglasses. They don't even do driving tests. They don't do colourblind. Anyway, it's long story short. Yeah, they're a fun thing to have, but I hardly ever use them. They're pretty cool looking glasses, but I've just learned to live with it. But again, so Robert, again, I have absolutely no problem with seeing those lights, those fluorescent-y lights in that sort of scenario. I have no problem seeing a red light and a green light and a yellow light and all that sort of stuff. But when I was in the army, they wouldn't let me be a driver because of it. Because it was on my medical records. Sorry. You look at those colour charts, but I can see traffic lights fine, because it's only certain shades, those high tone, the high tan colours, or what do they call them, the washed out, which you never see in traffic lights. So there you go. So anybody else done the test now? What else is there? Go on. I want to see if anybody else found themselves colourblind. What did they come up with?
I'm doing it right now.
He's doing it right now, is he? Share your screen. That's all right, don't worry.
Oh, well, I just finished it, so...
there you go.
Give me a second here. But I could see all of them. There were a few that were, harder to see, but... It was still, pretty certain of the results on it. So I'm guessing that it's going to tell me here that, yep, normal vision.
Good.
So, sorry, I'm not special.
You're not special.
You're special, all right.
I don't have the color blindness.
Oh, yeah, talking about special,
I'll be special in that way, maybe. But
okay, let me just get it.
Unfortunately, I'm boring when it comes to color blindness.
Okay, talking about being special, where are we? So, where's my notices seal? Oh, I have a superpower. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it?
Okay.
Okay, so IFL Science put this article out in January somewhere. If I could go to a post in IFL Science from last February, which just popped up in my Facebook feed, says the ear rumbling is a superpower. Right? I don't know if you have to read the article, but this is a post by me. I'm trying to find where was the reply from. But yeah, so there's a thing that you can tense muscles in your neck, and you can create this rumbling noise in your ear, which I could do forever. I can just do it at will. And it's supposedly only 5% of the human race can do it. You've got to see the IFL Science article to understand what I'm talking about. Don't know why. Yeah, ears rumble as assembly. I don't want to start chatting with them. Does anyone else rumble? Does anybody else rumble every time they see a post in the subreddit on their page? I don't know if there's actually a link. I can rumble. Anyway, it's called ear rumbling. It's a way you can tense your muscles in your ear or the ear area, and it creates this like a low pitch rumble. But only a few people can do it. It's a superpower, they're telling me. I would have preferred invisibility or be able to fly, but supposedly that's my superpower. Live with it. No? So nobody else can do the ear rumbling?
Right. I feel kind of stupid.
Too bad I don't have
I hear crickets.
Do you? Unfortunately, I can't. There's nobody's got a link. I should have put the link up for when I was replying. Basically, the link in the IFL Science took me to this Reddit. The Reddit, what do you call it? Subgroup. So, and unfortunately, I should have thought about that if I wanted to make reference to it. I should have made sure the fact that I put a don't know if we can actually find it. Oh, okay. I did find it. Amazing. Only a small number of people can create this sound in their ear. Are you familiar with it? I don't know if we can actually give you a sample. Spent a good month discovering stuff about their own bodies and the minds at the beginning of February had of people discovering that some people don't have internal monologues, and now people are finding out that only certain people can create noises inside their ears. They post on Twitter. Sort of basically it comes out of the fact that there's a muscle in here that we can tense that creates a rumble. And of course that's when I went to there. I bet he's thinking about other women. He's probably thinking about other ear rumbling. Unfortunately, I can't even give you a sample of what it sounds like, but yeah. It's a superpower. You can drown out moviegoers giving out spoilers. Yeah. Anyway, enough of the weird shit of my channel. You always hear weird shit on my channel, don't you? That's what it should be all about. Is Buddha Day today? Is Buddha Day today? Is it? What day is it today? It's the 24th of July. Held in July. King's birthday is the 28th. Held in July, known as the first preaching of his disciples. It's not going to give me what day is it. That's not helpful. Okay, there we go. It's Buddhist Lent today. There you go. Good on you. You were right. There you go. It is a Buddhist Lent day, so no alcohol. Not that we're really going to take alcohol anyway, but interesting. I haven't been seeing very many posts on Facebook about it, so there you go. Today is Buddhist Lent. No drinking, that's it.
I could live with that.
Yeah. I think I bought 4 beers about 2 weeks ago. I've drunk 3 of them in 4 weeks. So there you go. And when I say they're only the one beer, one bottle size, not the big bottles, not the Darwin Stubbies. Yeah, King's birthday on Wednesday, that's right, yeah. There goes my toast to Buddha, yeah. So the angry Buddha, we can't toast your birthday. We can't.
It's Bubba, not Buddha.
I said Bubba, I call it Buddha, yeah. Bubba, angry Buddha. There goes my toast, yeah. William says, we stocked up yesterday. Of course you would, Robert. You couldn't do without your beer. Had you better throw away your Leo. Anyway, so what else we did? What else have I missed? I drove trains a long time. Mark especially. I've been a passenger. You got to be putting off going to. Yeah, not many questions coming my way today. So there you go. Okay, so let's do that. What was it? What else was in the news today? Let's go back to my news articles. Hit the refresh button. Oh yeah, so they've posted that one for so I registered. I can't even say that. Has been used for some time to treat COVID-19 patients in Thailand. As a result, the government pharmaceutical organisation has now produced the medicine locally, and this week the FDA has given approval for the product. Demands for such a medicine is around 300,000 tablets per day, or 9 million tablets per month. To help meet the demand, the GPO has produced the medicine received the necessary approval for the FDA. Domestically produced versions of Fobin are expected to be available for prescription next month. Okay, so that's an interesting story. I also the Richardson Roach thing. G'day, Sharon. Richardson Roach thing. There's a particular. Was it not an antiviral? It's something else that's been used out there anyway, it's been approved this week as well. We'll probably find something about that. The Bank of Thailand discussed the relevant authorities' ways to lower the country's household debt. Oh yeah, household debt in Thailand is getting absolutely ridiculous now. People can't get money from the bank, so they're going to all loan sharks. 20 million doses of Pfizer coming in Q4. So I'm judging from the day, depending, we may even be given the Pfizer. So who knows? National Vaccine Institute apologises for the delays in the vaccine rollout. 20 million Pfizer, MOPH discusses 120 million doses target for next year with vaccine importers. Thailand produces much cheaper domestic. Governor Party treated a special committee to study the use of Thai herb. Yeah, there's also Thai herb supposedly that has been discovered to be very good at relieving the symptoms. One of my friends told me the fact that they were watching the opening ceremony for the Tokyo Olympics yesterday. Looked pretty special, but they got nobody in the audience. Longer gap between Pfizer. Yep, we know about that. Prime Minister has approved the plan to cap tuition payments at public universities at 50% each semester to lessen the financial burden on students and their parents. Yeah. What's your situation, Todd? You want to talk about that? You were booked in and into a university for learning, weren't you?
Yeah, Chiang Mai, but I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, and I think it's because there's no students enrolling. They've postponed or cancelled that section of the university.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get to the bottom of it.
And try to get your deposit back.
Just yeah. Oh, whether it's just that faculty or all the faculties, I don't know. But because everything's either red or dark red, even if I manage to escape and get into Bangkok's dark red, and you can't do domestic travel because they've locked down all the planes, trains and buses. getting out of ASQ and then moving on to where the university is, that's going to be a hassle as well. So, and that's as of this week. Like, I only got notification on Tuesday, this just gone. So, as everyone says, things change daily, so hence why I'm trying to keep a close eye on what's going on.
And that's why we do our weekly program, so we can all chat about it. So, again, just a bit of a refresher. We do have a Discord channel. There's a link in the description box below. It's not for everybody. I realise that. There are some buttons you got to press. It doesn't do it all for you to get it all working. But we managed to get what's his name? Ethan Moon. You remember Ethan Moon? He was in Thailand. He went back to South Korea, I think last year. But he managed to get himself on, and he's a young lad, non-gamer.
Oh yeah, I invited him to the Discord. I was actually on a live stream with him yesterday.
Yeah, so he got on. I saw he popped into your channel at the same time as mine. So we took him through a bit of, hands-on approach to sort of get that sorted out. But he got it, within about an hour he got himself worked out, and he was able to chat and discuss, but he was having all sorts of bandwidth problems as well. He's on his Wi-Fi, router in his father's apartment, which is the router's like 10 years old, and the bandwidth is shit and all that sort of stuff. So he was just having all sorts of, audio issues, and he was on a Macintosh phone or an Apple phone as well. So that could have been another reason why it was so bad.
Yeah.
Was it Billy's asked, "What's my view on the vaccine?" My view is the fact that
They're good for its sauce.
Yeah, what's my view on the vaccine? Well, one view I have is the fact that they've been trying to make vaccines for the influenza, which is a coronavirus by all sort of, technical terms, right? They've been trying to make a vaccine for influenza for 100 years, and they haven't successfully done it yet. We just live with influenza, right? They're now trying to make use us as a guinea pig with this new experimental, vaccines to combat another influenza style, severe respiratory infection problem, which causes pneumonia and clogs up your lungs, right? And we're all guinea pigs. Okay, well, that's my view on it, but would I take it? Yes, I will take the vaccine when it's offered, because I consider my people around me as the fact that they're more precious than my particular ranting and raving on a vaccine. I would rather have everybody safe. That's my view on the whole thing. But yeah, the whole idea about being a guinea pig was something like that, when I know the fact that we are just going to have to live with this thing here for the rest of our lives. It is just a new version of influenza, and that's, live with it. Get healthy, right? That's all you can do. Vaccines are still experimental, but I know vaccines are experimental. They'll be experimental for 5 years until their data comes in. We won't get to see the actual data. This is like coming from 15 years in data analytics, knowing how data analytics work and what we see on the public, on the public circus, public news circus. This is not data. This is what they call data manipulation to drive home a particular point of view, if you know what I mean. It's not the real data. Real data would be, okay, we have this many people who have had cases. Could we now sort of break that down into different fields? How many people are suffering from a acute respiratory syndrome, right, like pneumonia, and they are effectively perfectly healthy, right? Could we have that subgroup? We want to look at that subgroup first, right? What is the genetics? What's the genetic markers in that subgroup? Why are these people not suffering when everybody else is? Or why are these people suffering from an influenza when nobody else is, right? Get the idea, and you break that down. You look at particular gene markers and particular genetic sequencing. This is how you manipulate the data in a proper scientific fashion, right? But we never see what that data is, right? I think I saw there was a post this week which I thought was totally inappropriate. So saying Israel has a 78% in vaccination of their whole community in Israel. 78% of the Israelites have been vaccinated, yet there's 4 times as many people getting the virus to the people who aren't. Well, yeah, there's 75% of their population, they're all vaccinated, but it doesn't stop the virus, but they were making a point of the fact that the vaccines are inadequate. No, the vaccines, right, lower your risk factor, right? And if you really went through and read the whole article, rather than what was posted on the little subsection on Facebook, and actually go to the site and read the article, right, it does to say, those the major cases were basically asymptomatic or mild. Nobody really was hospitalised in that group. But what people see on Facebook is that headline, and that's what changes their mind. They don't do the investigation. They don't go and look and see what the data, even at that level, they don't go and look at the manipulation of the data and make a headline to sort of say, well, they can do that. This is what happens in the news. It's just absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, it's all clickbait. It's all like, you got to lure people in with something that is basically the opposite of whatever the article is saying, to get people, keep people's like hormones raised and shit like that.
It's all about that. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And I don't blame people, because people don't have enough time to take in all the information. You're getting bombarded like by everything all the time. So people have to go through and they have to go, okay, I got to take this little bit of information from this source, this little bit from this source, and then like sporadically throughout their day they have to do that. Or unless you live with an acceptance that you cannot consume 100% of all media that is created.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to accept that and be like, okay with it. Like, I'm not going to watch sorry, I've got a rant on this, but I'll stop now.
Rant away! It's alright.
Like, for a while, I was all pissed off because, like, everybody at work would be talking about this TV show, and I'd be playing this game or something else, and I'd be like stressed out because I was like trying to figure out how to watch the TV show, how to like stay current on the news, how to play the game, how to like do all of these projects at the same time, until I realized you cannot, like, you just can't follow everything in detail. So you might as well not try to follow everything in detail. And instead follow a few things in detail.
Squirrel.
Yeah, exactly.
Squirrel.
Like, there's a bunch of people saying that, like, God, and I'm gonna sound like an old fogey, but people are saying like the cell phones are terrible for like our minds, because we're just scrolling through, and it might not be the cell phone itself, it might be like each different type of social media and the headlines and Twitter and stuff like that, where it's like you're limited to, what is it, 255 characters, 126, I don't even know, because I don't really use Twitter, but like you can't get the detail in that. So it's just like little pieces of everything, instead of actually immersing yourself into one or two things, and it will drive you insane, and you'll either get nothing done, you'll research nothing. Anyway, that's my rant. So just accept it and focus on less but more depth.
Yeah.
I am. Trust me, I am right now.
It's all right, Dee, but I put up some pretty pictures to, while there was ranting, we were just clouding people's judgment about the rant because they got pretty girls on the screen. Yeah, there was a rant there. Oh, yeah, there was a rant. Oh, all I saw was pretty girls. But again, that's the way. We do. Our mind lives in a visual world, right? And a picture will tell 1,000 words. I think that anachronism has been sort of around for thousands of years. But a picture tells 1,000 words. So I can change people's paradigm of what you were saying just by putting pretty girls up. That's the clickbait. It's the attention spans. I had this discussion with Ethan last night. He was saying with his channel and with his social media engagement, he's had to take on things like building his Instagram account, and he's had to now go into TikTok because his audience is there, and if you're not on that platform, he misses out on a certain part of his what they call social engagement. And as I said, being like a market influencer, like I said, he calls himself an influencer, right? If you're not on those platforms, you're missing out on a certain part of the audience. And I think we made this point a few times already on the stream. The advent of YouTube, right, brought on the terminology, your 15 minutes of fame, because the average length of video on YouTube, back in mid-2000s when YouTube became a thing and when Google bought it, was the fact that the average length of video was 15 minutes long. And there was a couple of movies that came out that sort of talked about this. There was a murder mystery thing that came out with Robert De Niro, and a couple of other things like that about this, again playing on this 15 minutes of fame that was the culture was developing. Now we've got 2021 and we've got lockdown. We've got the 15 seconds of fame. Right, the 15-second TikTok, clicky video because it's got boobs or something, that's a nice shot. Moving right along. Great shot, yes. She's got a nice ass. Yep, okay. Sometimes I wonder whether he's actually allowed to put these pictures up because, that's bikinibabes.com. I'm pretty sure that's a copyright on that. Nice little camel toe there. Nice smile too. The Hooters girls. So I'll get it even see the smile. Somebody did remind me. I didn't put Twitter up yet. My Twitter babes up last week, so we're just making sure we're we're not getting our Twitter babes. That's a cutie. Yep, nice. Some interesting ink on some of these girls. Yeah, that's 99 Luftballons. First thing that came to mind then. 99 Luftballons. 99 Luftballon. Sorry, I can't sing. I'll try not to.
I see what you're talking about. I'm looking at his stockings.
Balloons.
Balloon.
Okay. Yeah.
It's got 99. I just thought.
Stream background, and she's got a 99 on her.
Yeah, that's right. The 99 next to the balloons, and that was what I saw.
Getting old.
But I was looking for something to talk about, rather than the pretty bikini babes, because I'm trying to make a point. It's what you perceive and how you perceive the world. This is again just my mind works differently. And
I was checking the wiring on the fans to make sure it was locked to code.
Yeah, Thai code.
Thai code.
Just spoiler, it isn't.
Okay.
Oh, that's a nice little red bikini, that one. Anyway, so Rayong at this stage we rent a house in the city at the moment. She loves the area and the daughter is at school there as well. Okay. Thanks for that information, Mark. Obviously I'm guessing you were talking to Mr. Robert Graves. Where you're going to live? Okay, good, yeah. So I have trouble trying to even. I don't try not to read the live chat. If I can, you got to put the @ symbol and remind me you're talking to me if you want to ask me a question, because I'm absolutely hopeless at this shit. I'm trying my best to keep up with everything while I'm clicking around and looking at pretty girls. Oh, you can almost see what she had for breakfast there. Yeah. A nice ass. Another
Great
couple.
ass.
Yeah, flicking across to that one there. Lovely smiley girls. There's something we really do miss. We haven't been out with the boys for a while, since November, December. Was it? When was the last time we went out with the guys? Was it December? Oh my God.
Been a while.
Yeah, sort of, you don't think about it now, or you think about it now because we haven't been out, all that sort of stuff was put on hold. But just, going even down to Susie's place and looking at the girls across the street, the smiley faces. It's something that makes you a little bit sad that we're missing it all. Crying. He's got a fair bit of ink on it.
Nice tattoo.
Every time I see that sort of stuff, I think about getting my sleeves done, and then I thought about it. Yeah.
No comment.
I still want to get sleeves. Yes, I still want to get my tattoos sleeve. I really have this thing to want to get my tattoos sleeve. I don't know how sleeves go with hairy arms, like a bit of a ling here.
He's two women in a very friendly position, and he wants to get his sleeves done.
Yeah.
Each to their own.
Each to their own, yeah. Sort of this little trail of birds up her arm there, yeah.
She has arms. I didn't notice.
And of course it won't let me zoom in on that, will it? Open image. Image and new table. It'll actually open the image, and I can actually zoom in. Yeah, there we go.
She tattooed bitch.
She's a
Might wanna leave
bitch.
that one alone.
Yeah.
They're advertising. It's just a warning.
Mhm.
Stay away.
I wonder how many people watching that didn't know you could actually do that.
Maybe she can't read what it says, and it was just the artist's opinion.
It could be true.
I'm now curious as to what this says on her leg. No, it's too blurred. Can't make that one out.
The space for rent?
The space for rent. Yep. A bit blurry. Yeah, not a high resolution picture. Anyway, enough of our little Twitter girls. William Dallow, William, we're burning incense as we speak. It's Buddha Day. Is that the menu? Marvin and moved to soy 6. Warren, your channel's improving. It's only improves when I put the girls up. That's right. Yeah, it's you all this. Like I'm pretty sure there's some females watching here, and they're probably rather annoyed the fact they're not putting males up for their entertainment. But I don't know where the pictures are for the males. So there you go. Sorry, for the girls watching, you'd have to send me a link. Hey.
You can see you. Totally.
Yeah, they can see me. That's the token male in the audience. You guys can share your camera if you got a camera, and we can put you up on screen if you want. But I don't think you want to do that. Yeah, that'll scare everybody away.
Maybe in a few months.
Yeah, but so this whole clickbait, 15 seconds of fame. As I said, Chanya's doing it. Maybe we're just so old school that we just don't understand it anymore. Go-go hopping. Now I'm looking at Leo DiCaprio at the beach. Leo DiCaprio, yeah, okay. Well, what is our timing anyway? So I tend to look, we've got 25 minutes to go. And Paul, so how you been, Paul? How's life treating you? I think that, are you teaching from home now, or you still have a school to go to? That'd be a good one to ask a question of. Okay. What else did they move along? I don't think there's any other news articles I could really sort of go to. What did Mr. Richard Barrow have to say? Has he got anything new to talk about? Yeah, the decree. Dallo. Yeah, just don't get any of those Thai tattoos, unless of course you can read Thai. Yeah, you never know what it You've got a Buddhist chant tattoo that turns out to be translated to Frang Wanker in Thai, yeah. So you're stuck at home, Paul, okay, fair enough. But yeah, are you teaching, because that's the thing, you're a teacher, so are you doing, classes via Zoom or something? I don't know, how's that working? Robert Groves, have to go. Yeah, great weekend. Have a great weekend yourself. Yes, see you next week. See you. And Robert's over to probably off to load his barbecue and get something cooked for lunch. That's the next thing we need to get as well. Is we need to go barbecue shopping. Still haven't found the perfect barbecue yet. Okay, so Royal Gazette. Oh, they still. That's the other thing about the this lockdown stuff. They still talk about opening Thailand in 120 days. But I think they're staying, this is still the opening Thailand in 120 days, but it's been 120 days for the last month, so at least the whole thing's extending, because I'm pretty sure they're not going to open in 90 days now, that's for certain. The Phuket Sandbox, okay, what have we got there? So I love how they, so far 263,813 room nights have been booked up until September. An average stay 11.28 nights. So, unless of course you do the math, it doesn't mean much at all. It sounds a big number. So what's that? So if we do clear that and we go 263,813 and divide that by 11.28. So it's 23,338 people. 23,000. They would, Phuket would have done 23,000 visitors on a weekend before COVID. Now they're talking 223,000 visitors in 3 months. How is that even news? Yes, they're rating local cases for the second day in a row. No new Sandbox cases. 145 patients now in hospital still since the Sandbox started. And yeah, so that's the other thing about this, the whole Sandbox. If you come in on that flight, people are choosing Phuket so they can move around. But if anybody in that plane tests positive, that whole plane load gets thrown into ASQ. So far at your cost. On top of the cost, you can probably get your refund back from the hotel you booked in, but you basically, if you're going to come over, you might as well just book a hotel and get something cheaper in Bangkok. And then, if you get something, do your 2 weeks in quarantine, then if you want to go to Phuket, then go to Phuket. You got your...
that's the thing, is you won't necessarily be able to choose your ASQ in Phuket if you get stuck with that, so...
Yeah,
at least with doing the way that I did it,
you can choose
your hotel and look at the food options, look at the, if you want to view all that stuff.
Yeah, there's a bit of a Russian roulette, but anyway, that's just life. But they're definitely not devoid of the virus, that's for certain. We did that one there. Yeah, today we got 14,260 cases, 119 deaths. So it's a fairly big number, and that's of course from 3 hours ago, so this is obviously yesterday's numbers. So we're definitely sort of, we're still on the ramp up. It's still climbing, but they do seem to be getting something done and rolled out now. So the Thais over 60 were being allowed, into Bang Sue, as you saw from the earlier pictures there. And Chanya got her vaccination done as well because she was with mother. I'm still waiting for my SMS to say come in, but the way things are going right now, we may, if we don't get the SMS in the next couple of days, we may even be told that we're going on the 29th to get the Pfizer. Who knows? We can only sort of hope that I get the microRNA. As a choice, I'd probably go for the mRNA as opposed to everything else, because it's the technology that seems to be the most efficient. But yeah, I got no choice either. But any one choice I have is don't give me that Chinese stuff. I guess the other meme that comes to mind is the meme that's going around. This virus thing. It's the longest anything Chinese has ever lasted. My rebuttal. That's the rebuttal. My rebuttal to that is the fact that because the virus wasn't made in China, it was made in America. Right, and it was funded by Americans. That's why it's lasting. Come on, that's why it's lasting, because it was made in America, funded by Americans with Fauci and his these little games. They couldn't they couldn't do this research in America because it was banned by Obama. So they moved the research off into China. But guess what? It was American research being done in China. So it's not really a Chinese virus. It was an American virus that spread in China and then the rest of the world. So there you go. Anyway, that'll get...
We haven't been charged an upgrade fee yet, so...
Is that right? A bit more to the conspiracy in there. Of course, that'll come out in meme form somewhere next week, I'm sure. It's 50k, Bobby, 14,000, the rest is 50k at least, yeah. Random serious question, but you think Europe is doomed, Islam is taking over? Look, no, follow the money. It's got nothing to do with religion. Now, the best take I had on this, and this is again a little bit of a rant, there's a certain percentage of population, right, who just don't push back, right? And with the way that Islam works, or the Muslim religion works, it's very subservient to the hierarchical structure, right? It's a very structured. You don't rock the boat, right? If your elders say something, then you follow the thing, right? And the real push is towards this leftist movement, right? Because these people sort of don't fight back, right? And it's a basic gradual takeover because the fact that they want to make everybody subservient. Democracy is failing because it's just run rampant, and democracy can be governed by the amount of money that the corporations can do. And the push is not so much to do with the religion. The push is to do with control and money, right? It always has been. All religion is about control and money,
Yep. I realized that when I was in, after 4 years of Catholic school.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is styled the same way as the
Took you that
military. I know. As an 8th grader, 4th through 8th grade, I was kind of dumb. So.
Right. There is only one. There is only one God, and she is female, and she's pissed off at the moment. That's all I'm saying.
Mother Earth.
No, I'm talking about Eris, of course.
Oh.
Eris Callisti Discordia, the Greek goddess of chaos, discord and confusion. She is the most active divinity on this planet right now, and we're laughing. Look at the number of people, and then the number of infected, and then how many died, and also look at how many people died after getting the vaccine. Yeah, well, those numbers are skewed, of course, to drive a bit of a point home. People die anyway. The overall numbers of death around the last year and a half, the population of the planet has actually increased more than decreased because of what's going on. So you just work that shit out. Because we're wearing masks. Well, most of the people are wearing masks and are exercising due diligence. But their numbers coming out of Australia was the fact that I think there's one meme going out. I think in the last 90 days, or not 80 days in Australia, there's only been one COVID death. But look at how many other deaths there are, from cancer and everything else. But they don't make news. But they still lock you down, don't they? It's not about a virus, it's about control, right? The advent of social media and free speech has gone out of hand, and everybody thinks that they're God, and everybody wants to do their own thing. Everybody doesn't give a fuck about everybody else, right? And governments have lost control, right? We are verging on, total global revolution once people get out of their comfort zone. And I think this whole pushing of lockdown is eventually going to break the camel's back on a comfort zone. The people just take to the streets and just, they'll just ransack the governments like they do.
There's this book that actually my mom's been trying to get me to read that I need to really read, called The Sovereign Individual. And it sounds like the things that you're talking about are mimicked by what she was talking about in that book.
Yeah. This is the way it is. If you want to read a good book, you got to read the Illuminatus trilogy. Even Robert Anton Wilson alluded to it in his book, The Illuminatus Trilogy, and how the system works. And that was written in 1970. So there you go. And who's pinging me now? Really? Stuart. What do you want to know, Stuart? Sydney an hour ago.
Apparently there was a protest in Sydney.
Wild images.
Details.
So there we go. This is what's happening in Sydney yesterday, or let me just do.
Today, I think, was it?
Today, okay. 7 News. Wild images are emerging from Sydney anti-lockdown protests. This is just the start. This is what's going to happen around the world. The governments are going to lose control. They're going to fall into complete anarchy, and the society will collapse. Basically, what will happen? Well, the trucks won't get produce into the supermarkets, and of course you've got places like Sydney where there is no open air markets or roadside stalls for food, and then of course food shortages, and we've already seen toilet paper shortages, and then the people is just going to get pissed off, and it's going to be left versus right, blacks versus white, right, and it's just going to the society's going to collapse. This is what we're facing until they wake up to the fact that you are just going to have to live with the problem, right? It's a virus like the flu. It just happens to be a little bit more acute and causes what they call a pneumonia flare-up in certain individuals. So some people's genome are susceptible to fighting this particular lung infection. Right, and it goes into your immune system goes into overdrive. That's what's happening. This what they call this something or other. I can't even know the word. There's something they call a cyclonic storm or something. And that's what causes the pneumonia. Your body basically goes into complete overdrive to fight the infection, because it doesn't know what to do. It doesn't know the fact that this is just the flu. It's just something new, and it's not everybody does it. We've sort of seen how many asymptomatic people we get. The majority of the population have mild flu-like symptoms, right? And this is the thing that they are not driving this home, right? And it should be driven home. Stop panicking. Like I know, Chanya panics about it. She's concerned because she's one of those rare individuals that has had a lot of medical procedures, and she feels that her system may not fight it as well as somebody who hasn't all those medical procedures. She just has a bit of a concern about that. I think she worries too much. She doesn't get sick. She has the occasional headache. Probably once every 3 or 4 months she tells me she's got a headache. May survive. You look fine, darling. But she's got a headache, she'll take one paracetamol and then go to bed, which is the best thing for you. You got a headache, take a Panadol, go to bed. Just go to bed if you can sleep without the Panadol, even better. But yeah, The only other drug she's just really taken in the last 12 months is maybe sort of 1 or 2 estrogen tablets or derivations of estrogen. She's not really into, taking medicinals. So, I think she's fairly healthy and fairly safe. But this is what we've got coming. We've got, this is in Australia. It's going to happen in America. I think the Americans are a little bit more scared about it, but of course the other problem with America is the fact that at least these protesters aren't loaded for bear. In America, the whole problem is going to be the fact that the people are going to go out there and they'll be loaded for bear. That's when it's going to get really out of hand, if you know what I mean.
I don't see that happening.
Well, that's where you live. You're instead of was it Texas, isn't it? That area?
Alabama.
Alabama.
Northern Alabama.
I'm not quite sure the map
See,
on Alabama.
yeah, I still say most, and this is controversial, but most of the people in the U.S. that have a lot of guns aren't really the people that you have to usually worry about having all the guns.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
At least,
I probably
yeah,
have over 40.
Yeah, I mean, most of those people that have a lot usually take no firearm safety, all of that, but...
Probably take about 3 weeks of training a year.
Do you? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I also have to keep up a security license, so part of the reason.
Yes, well, then banks and the elite establishment control the world. Well, of course, the only reason why Islam has got a foothold around the globe is that's where the oil comes from, and of course, is being controlled. Their governments basically, Muslim-backed states. That's why it happens, right? It's not about religion; it's about control of the money. They have the money.
Yeah, and control over resources, and people happen to be a resource.
Yep.
That's why a lot of governments don't like crypto, too, because that allows you to have control over your money. Like, you know how much of a pain in the butt it is to move money around between banks? It sucks. The banks act like it's not your money. The banks act like it's their money.
Oh, yeah,
So,
again. Tell me about it.
If you've got crypto, and I don't know much about this, but if you're in the DeFi space, you have control over your money. You're able to, if somebody owes me money, they could just pay me directly. No bank involved using crypto, using my address.
Oh, here's something I was reading this morning. I'm going to get this terminology all wrong because I'm not in that crypto space. Well, I watch it, but I don't know all the jargon. But there's, I think, 12 states in the US now are about to bring in a new law, the fact that if you haven't used your crypto account on these crypto exchanges for 6 months, they're going to be able to come in and claim that money from the exchange. It's like what they call defunct bank accounts, right? There is this.
Yeah, that's why you don't keep money on exchanges.
But how many people
you get yourself a hardware wallet?
Yeah, but that's the thing. But how many people know that? Right? There's so many people in the crypto space that just like, I'm going to get this Dogecoin,
They're just doing it for speculation and not for other reasons.
But basically, this law's going in now that that the government is now being able to go to these exchanges and say, has that account been used for the last 6 months? No, and they're going to be able to have a law that states that they can now take that money off you or that crypto off you.
And this should prove how malicious and manipulative the United States is.
Yeah.
The United States is evil. I'm saying that as a U.S. citizen. like some states are better than others, but really, all of these big entities, these big Western governments, you think that they're the beacons of democracy? No, they want to track, they want to use, and they want to basically expunge as much resource they can out of each of their peasantry as possible.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, that's the way it is. Like I've always said this a few times. It wouldn't surprise me in the next 10 years that there'll be a law passed in Australia that we can't transfer our money overseas. Basically, every government every government is now broke, right? And Australia sees them, people like us who have come to Thailand, drawing money out of the Australian economy every week or every month, and that's money that's not being cycled through Australia because the rich don't cycle. The rich don't use money. The rich don't cycle their money through the economy. It's only the people at the low end of the economy. And that's why Australia managed to dodge the GFC and didn't go into recession, because the government gave everybody, those handouts at a very early stage, especially over Christmas, which was the most critical time when they could have given it out, and basically staved off the recessional process of the GFC in Australia. Right, of course Australia's got other things wrong with it now, but they've still been paid for it. They've been still paid for that handouts that they gave, but they keep on giving tax breaks to the millionaires and then taxing us higher and higher. People like me, I said I pay minimal tax because I'm living off my savings, living off my all the stuff that I've done personally. The stuff and saving for a rainy day, your nest eggs, it's a fairly sizable nest egg that I had. They can't touch that, it's mine, and they get the shits with it, They said, even if it's not 10 years, 5 years, I think 5 years is probably about as long as I've got here in Thailand before they turn around and say, sorry, we're not letting you transfer the money out of Australia any longer. Because that's the way the world's going. This whole control everybody state, control the money. So I would like to understand the Bitcoin thing, see where it's going, and then probably sort of move all my money into that digital economy so they can't touch it. But I need to have a lot more confidence in the fact that it's going to be around, and they don't stop it from, they don't sort of bring in moratoriums and fucking use as well.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. You stuff it all there and put it on my wallet, and then I can't use it. What are you going to do then? I still got to buy food. I still can't go down to sort of local big C and say, "Here's my Bitcoin wallet. Can I have my 4,000?"
I will say that the condo complex that I'm in, I could have, if I was going to buy one of these units, I could buy it with Bitcoin. That would be stupid because, the value of the condo over a long-term period is not going to rise as much as the value of the Bitcoin I would be trading for it. Yeah. But I could do that.
Yeah,
and that really surprised and impressed me.
Yeah, anyway, so we've got 3 minutes to the hour, so we're going to wrap it up. Go Bank, we're on crypto terminology. I'm digging with the Shiba to receive bonuses that I can swap for. Okay,
Dallo, I love your commentary, man.
What did Dallo say? I'd like to.
Oh, he's just been amusing this entire time.
As he always is. We love Dallo. He's a great guy. I'd like to live in. I'd like to live in some of those sub-African countries, and they never seem to have trouble with their governments.
Huh?
It's sarcasm.
Yeah.
No. It's sarcasm. Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah, Ruinscape. Do you have a YouTube channel that describes that? Unfortunately, I can't get a link to your channel. Hit me up come on our Discord and talk about it. We do talk about Bitcoin, so the Discord link there. You seem like you know a bit about online Bitcoin trading, so come and join in the conversation. You're here in the channel. You might as well come and join the party. I also trade in Pattaya with a few contracts. I give them Bitcoin, they give me cash. Anyway, hi Mitch. Yes, who have I missed? Robert McInasia. I didn't say hello to Robert. Robert, how you doing? Great to have you along. It's pretty easy to use Bitcoin shopping. Anyway, we're not talking about Bitcoin today. We've talked about everything else but Bitcoin. Let's get out of here. Let's close the thing down, and we'll pick this up next week, I guess. Where are we? Where's my closing screen? Of course, we'll stick around and chat with amongst ourselves once the program's closed. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like what we do here. Then don't forget the membership program that we've got, and I got my Patreon, all that sort of stuff. All greatly appreciated, and we'll get out of your face, and you can get on with the rest of your day. Peace out, guys. We'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody. I actually clicked all the fucking right buttons. I can't believe it.